Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Leo here. Caden, how you doing today?
It's a pretty good day. We just saw a crazy Thursday Night
Yes,
Football finish
we did.
that we'll get to in a little bit. So it's been a good day.
Yes, it has, Caden, but let's hop right into it because we have a lot of great games to talk about, and we are in a crunch for time. So let's get right into the first college football matchup of the weekend.
So the first college football game we got this weekend is Longhorns back from their bye, Florida at Texas.
Yes.
Where Texas is a 22.5-point favorite.
Yeah, Caden, 22.5 points makes sense just the way this Florida team's been inconsistent all year. Sometimes they'll look all right, and they'll have splashes of offense, and then most times they look just like an average college football team. That's how I would describe this game. I think 22.5 is a fair line, and I expect Texas to cover that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't expect Texas to
You
cover.
don't?
Texas hasn't shown, start of the season, they're great.
Yeah.
Last couple weeks, they haven't shown flashes that they would be able to recover a more than 3 touchdown spread.
Even on a bye? Even coming off a bye?
I know coming off a bye helps, but I don't know. Because, you saw Florida last week against Georgia be able to cover the 14.5.
Most definitely.
Against that Georgia team. So I think the 22.5 might just be a little too high, and I think Texas should be able to win this game easily, but I think Florida should be able to come away with the cover.
Good points. We're going to have to watch that one closely. I personally think Texas is on the bye, but that's going to be one we're going to have to find out, and there's our first disagreement of the pod.
Now, a big game in the college football landscape this week. We got Georgia traveling to Ole Miss in a ranked-on-ranked SEC matchup, where Georgia is a 2.5-point favorite.
Georgia 2.5 points shows you how close. I'm actually surprised this line's that close, Caden. I understand Georgia's on the road. I just think they're the better team, though, Caden. I understand the factors that are at play and why it could be a close game, but the fact that it's just 2.5, I'm going to like Georgia on this one.
Yeah, I will ride with Georgia with you as well. You saw what Jackson Dart did last week, though. Threw for 515 and 6 tutties against Arkansas, which is insane. That's great.
Jackson Dart's a solid quarterback.
Jackson Dart's a really good quarterback, but, Georgia's defense is on a whole nother level than Arkansas. And Georgia,
we saw what they did against Texas.
Yeah, exactly. We saw what they did against Texas. Yeah, they're one of the premier teams in college football for a reason. And yes, Ole Miss really, if they need this win, if they still want a chance to be able to make the college football playoff. So it's a big game for them. It's at home. They get the home environment. But I do think Georgia should get the win and cover the 2.5. It should, because they're the better team. They're the better team.
And that's what it comes down to a lot of times in these college football games. Anytime it's close, Caden, and especially like an SEC, I'm going with the experienced team. I'm going with, the players who've been in those situations before. Give me Georgia -2.
Now, your team, the game you will be attending.
God willing.
The Colorado Buffaloes are traveling to Lubbock to face the Texas Tech Red Raiders, where the Buffs are 4-point favorites.
Yeah, Caden, we talked about opening up as 4 points. It's a lot of points. It is really a lot of points. But the way this Colorado Buffaloes team has been on fire since they got smacked up, against Nebraska, even the loss against Kansas State.
It was a good game.
Played well.
Yeah,
it was a great game. So can't really hang your head on that. I think coming off a bye week as well with Texas, I think Colorado's got a lot of things in their favor for this matchup, Caden. Weather potentially could be a factor in Lubbock. Right now it's kind of looking like rainy conditions potentially for the start of kickoff. Again, driving out. By the time this episode's airing, I will already be 3 hours deep into a car ride. So let's hope it's going smooth and I've not been canceled on my way back yet. But we shall see, Caden. And I like Colorado to cover.
So the second disagreement of the pod coming right here. I think 4. I think it should be a really good,
it's gonna be a great
close one-score game. I think 4 might just be a little too high for the Buffs. I think Texas Tech should be riding high off their big win over Iowa State last week, which was also at home.
Yes.
So now they get to come back against their home crowd with even a really big matchup, fighting for that Big 12 championship.
Oh yeah.
Big 12 championship spot. Now, you got the Buffs against the Red Raiders. I think this should be an amazing game. We get in the afternoon slate. I think the 4 might just be a little too high, and I could see CU winning, but if they do win, I could only see it being by about a field goal.
And that's a good point, Caden, because CU can come down to a game-winning pick, and they wouldn't cover. So I don't hate the pick. I'm just going to ride with the Buffaloes, and I think Shador and company will win by a touchdown.
Yep. Hey, now though, another big ranked-on-ranked matchup this week.
Yes.
We got Alabama traveling to Death Valley to take on the LSU Tigers, where Bama is a 2.5-point favorite.
This game, Caden, is going to be exciting.
Yes, it is.
So this is probably one of the games I'm so 50-50 on going into this week. Just with, we know what Alabama is as a program. However, we do know they have been upset this year, and that Nussmeier is the quarterback that has the potential to upset this team. I think if you're
I would agree. But then we saw him against A&M.
Yes, we did see him against A&M. That's the problem, right? Is the sample sizes with these quarterbacks is so inconsistent, especially at the college level. If Nussmeier plays fantastic, if he plays balls out,
like that Ole Miss game,
we've seen,
like that Ole Miss game,
I'm going to take LSU, but it's going to come down to him and him only, I believe, in this game.
Yeah, I agree with what you said 100%. I do like LSU, just like you in this game at the 2.5. I think it's a huge part because they're in Death Valley at home, where it's a really hard place for opposing teams to play.
Yes, it is.
That's it's one of the best home field environments in college with
100%.
With the LSU Tigers. Yeah, it'll come down to the quarterback play between Jalen Milroe and Garrett Nussmeier, where you've seen great play out of both quarterbacks, and you've seen really bad play.
Yeah.
You saw Jalen Milroe against Vandy, against even like a South Carolina stuff where he did not look good. You've seen his other games where he's looked like Jalen Milroe. Yeah. Same with Nussmeier. We saw the Ole Miss game where he looked incredible through the game-winning touchdown overtime. Then the A&M game where he threw the 3 picks. It's going to come down to which one of these two quarterbacks can limit their mistakes the most.
Turn it over,
and doesn't turn the ball over. And I think Nussmeier and the LSU team as a whole will have the better game, be able to cover the 2.5, and I think they will win the game as well.
I like it too, Caden. I'm riding high with you exactly. We know on this pod how I feel about Alabama this season without Nick Saban. Yep. I'm always, talking down on them. But we're going to have to see. Who knows?
Now, our nightcap in college football, 8:15 Mountain Time. You got the number 9 ranked BYU Cougars going to Utah for the big interstate matchup.
Yes.
Where the Cougars are a 3-point favorite.
Caden, I'm surprised the Cougars are only a 3-point favorite. I understand that this is a rivalry game, and I understand Utah is at home.
Yep.
I don't see a way BYU loses this football game. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you, Caden. They're just a better team. And I understand rivalries and all that, but there becomes a point where I don't see Utah elevating. Yeah. Yes, they just can't compete with BYU.
Thank you. Yeah, you said exactly what I was thinking. BYU should be a lot more than a 3-point favorite in this football game. I mean, you look at what's happened with Utah this year. Yes. Going into the season, they were the Big 12 favorites in the conference. And they've looked awful this year, especially offensively. Even when they were still good, they let Arizona beat them.
Yeah.
And then, Cam Rising obviously got hurt, so you're on their backup quarterback. Their OC quit halfway through the season because of how bad they were doing. They're in turmoil in Utah, and their offense has been abysmal all year. I don't see a way where BYU's not going to be able to come out with a victory and easily cover the 3.
I agree, Caden. Again, it's one of those that we keep our eyes on and watch. Super exciting, and that is this weekend's slate of college games that we are keeping our eyes on.
Yep. Now, before we go into the NFL side, I do think we should mention what we just saw with this Thursday night football game.
100%.
The Ravens-Bengals game, where the Ravens win 35-34 in the Thursday night thriller. Probably the only other Thursday night game that competes with this year is that Falcons-Buck overtime game.
Yeah, 100%, Caden. This game was back and forth. And there was times where the Ravens really just kind of looked dead in the water. And, it was like, wow, is this the Bengals really going to pull away from this lead? And then all of a sudden, Lamar Jackson just comes back and starts slinging the rock. Both quarterbacks, absolutely ridiculous tonight, Caden. Slinging the rock everywhere. But ultimately, it came down to, Lamar Jackson and that offense just being too explosive for that Bengals defense to handle. We talked about how rough that defense has played this year, so no surprises there. And ultimately, that 2-point conversion, Bengals come up a little bit short.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had his worst game of the season, and it didn't matter for them.
No.
You saw the Bengals jump up to that quick, early 21-7 lead at the start of the third quarter. Then the Ravens answered back with 21 unanswered points, all passing touchdowns by Lamar to get 28-21. They finally take the lead. Next play, deep bomb, Jamar Chase, touchdown tied up.
Ridiculous.
Ravens drive down, passing touchdown to Rashad Bateman, take the lead. And what do the Bengals do with the help of 5 defensive penalties?
Oh my gosh, so many flags.
Score the touchdown. Yeah, like you said, failed the 2-point conversion. Yeah, lose by 1. Jamar Chase, though, 11, 264, and 3
touchdowns. That's the final. Jamar Chase played. He was incredible. The Bengals offense.
Yes.
He was the Bengals offense. And it was just insane how he was just continuously open, kid. And give credit to the Bengals. They put up a better fight than even I thought.
Same.
I was a little iffy on this game coming out. I didn't think it was going to be very good, to be honest. I was kind of skeptical, but definitely lived up to the expectations, Caden.
And Lamar dropped 41 on my head in fantasy, so that's not fun either.
Not fun at all. Caden, take us to the first NFL game now.
Yeah, get into our NFL slate for this weekend. Starting off in the morning games, we have your Denver Broncos traveling to KC, where the Chiefs are a 7.5-point favorite.
Caden, no surprise there why the Chiefs are such a big favorite in Arrowhead. With that team being undefeated, even as bad as Mahomes has played, they're still rocking. You get rookie quarterback Bo Nix on the road. Early start in Arrowhead. Probably going to be cold. I don't know exactly the weather conditions for Kansas City, but I'm basing on, Colorado's. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a cold game.
We're getting into that wintry time.
This game could get ugly fast for Denver, Caden. But we also know this defense has kept them in, right? They struggled against the Ravens. I think that butt kicking they got is going to boost them, and I think the Broncos could potentially cover. So I'm going to ride with the cover here.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the way Mahomes has played this year. Last Monday night was easily his best game of the season.
Yeah.
Didn't throw a pick for the first time in 7 weeks, like we mentioned. So, yeah, the Broncos defense, especially with PS2 at corner, so could find a way to exploit Mahomes, get a pick or two, which could result in a bunch of good points for the Broncos. With that being said, though, I think the Chiefs are a better team.
And they're at home.
And they're at home, and you have to deal with, you have to see how Bo Nix, as a rookie, reacts to this Arrowhead environment for the first time in his career. I think it could be a really good game, but I do think the Chiefs should be able to pull away at the end and end up covering that 7.5.
Not a horrible take, especially what we saw with the Ravens against the Broncos last week.
Now another morning game, that we talk about. Big one in the NFC. We got the Niners going to Tampa Bay to face the Bucs, where the Niners are a 6.5 point favorite.
Caden, Niners being a 6.5 point favorite is again a little surprising to me, just because I like this Tampa Bay team, Caden. For whatever reason, they
fight.
They fight.
They fight.
They ride behind Baker Mayfield. They believe in him. And even as injured and as beat up as they are, they're going to give you hell. They're going to give you hell for 4 quarters. And I think that hell, is with how beat up and how inconsistent the San Fran offense is, maybe Christian McCaffrey's back in the lineup. Who knows?
If he's back, that helps them a lot.
It does help.
Like, that really expands their offense.
Yes, I still think, though, that Tampa Bay will be able to cover, even if they don't win.
Yes, I agree with you on this. I mean, we just saw it last Monday night against the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
They were able to tie it up with 40 seconds left, send it to overtime. They played that game great.
Yeah, they did.
The Chiefs are still undefeated, but the Bucs only lost by 6. They got the cover.
Yeah, they did.
And if they lose by 6 to the Niners, we get another cover.
Yep.
And at home, it's great for them. And like you said, the inconsistencies with the Niners offense has been big disparities from game to game. If you get McCaffrey back, that opens up stuff in the running game and the passing game in the backfield. But even if he comes back, who knows how healthy he's going to be, how much they're going to want to play him. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the Bucs fight. No matter what injuries or whatever they got going on, they're going to put up points. They're going to keep it close. I like them to cover in this one as well.
Definitely, kid.
Now we go to my Patriots.
Yes, we do.
Who are traveling to Chicago to face the Bears, where the Bears are a 6 point favorite.
Yeah, this Bears team has looked solid in the poor teams they played. I mean, this is a Bears team that loves to beat up on bad teams, Caden. They perform well against lower level of performance. And I unfortunately don't think that your Patriots will cover. I do expect Caleb Williams and company to handle business. And even if it's not a crazy blowout, I think they'll win by double-digit points.
Yeah, I'm really iffy on this game. I don't know what to think, because if this was in New England, it'd be completely different.
Yes. As
the Bears have looked awful on the road all year.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams hasn't won a game on the road yet this year, or even really been close, except for, But then, you have this matchup where it's going to come down to this Patriots defense and how they react against a rookie quarterback. You saw the entirety of when Bill was coaching. They owned rookie quarterbacks, no matter who was our quarterback. Cam Newton, Mac Jones, whatever. They would own a rookie quarterback. It's different now. You have Jordan Mayo. You have all this new stuff. And you have a defense that just loves giving up the run.
Yeah, they do.
If they can limit, this is the one thing. If they want to be able to cover and keep this game close, you have to limit DeAndre Swift, who's having another really good year.
Yep.
And if you can limit DeAndre Swift, you have a great chance to, I don't think win the game, but I think keep it within that 6 point touchdown game. And I'm going to ride with them to cover. I don't see it really a win unless, Drake really balls. But
a cover's a cover.
A cover's a cover. So I do think they should be able to come out with a little 6 point cover.
Good point, Caden. This game's also one I'm very iffy on.
Yep.
These are really good matchups, guys. And ultimately, that's what makes football such an entertaining sport, Caden. You really don't know until we see.
Yep. Now our primetime matchups, though. Sunday night should be a beautiful football game. We got the Detroit Lions traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, where the Lions are a 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah, Caden, this Lions team has been rolling. They've been absolutely dominant on defense.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the stat. They're the only team in the NFL who's top 5 in offense and defense based on statistical ratings and their performance. This is a balanced football team. This is an aggressive football team, even on the road against a talented Texans team who's been iffy this year.
They've been
iffy.
They find ways to win.
Yeah, they've been finding ways to win, but not by how it looked last year. I think the team last year almost looked, I don't want to say better, but
they're dealing with a lot more injuries this year.
Yes, well, that's a good point as well. I will say, though, for the Lions to win this game.
And cover?
Yeah,
I would agree. I mean, some reports have said Nico Collins will return this week, but also he hasn't practiced once this week, so it's not looking great for him to return. He's going to have to actually practice tomorrow and do something for them to want to activate him and get him into the game. If there's no Nico Collins, this offense has looked lost when it's Tank Dell as your number one receiver. We saw, last week against the Jets where they didn't do anything. Stroud hasn't been looking as good since all of his receivers. He's lost all his receivers. No Nico, no Stephon Diggs.
It's hard.
Like, they're going to have to rely on the backs of Joe Mixon and Tank Dell, which
Against
this Lions team, I don't know if they will be able to do. I do think we should be in for a really good Sunday Night Football game, but I do think the Lions, will come out with the win and the cover.
I agree, kid.
Now, Monday Night Football, we've got the Dolphins going to face the Rams, where the Rams are a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, the fact that the Rams are only a 1-point favorite is surprising to me. I know Tua's back in the lineup, and that team actually did look a lot better. But with being at home, Caden, Sean McVay, he's going up against Mike McDaniel, who he's probably got some, he's got some knowledge on the fellow, of course. And I think that plays in favor to the Rams' hand. And I just like the Rams team overall better than I do the Dolphins team, Caden.
Yeah, as much as I don't think Tua's a good quarterback by any means, it's just the whole offense that propels him. I like the Dolphins in this matchup.
Wow.
I mean, we saw the gut-wrenching loss against the Bills last week, but the offense looked good. They were able to put up 30 points against that Bills defense on the road. And now you're going to face the Rams, which is a much easier environment to go into, play, and score points. If you can stop Stafford from finding Puka and Cooper Kupp and slowing down, obviously, Kyren Williams, it's a battle of two
hard things.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matchup of two high-powered offenses. You have Tyreek, Waddle, and obviously Achane. Then on the other side, you have Puka, Kupp, and Kyren. So I think it should be another good primetime matchup. It's a primetime, so who knows how high scoring it's really going to be.
Yeah.
I think it should be a good game, but I do think the Dolphins will eke out the victory and cover that 1 point.
Another disagreement there, Caden. We do have a few different picks, as we always do. I'm excited for this weekend specifically. I know you guys are excited at home as well. Caden, what should these people do before they leave?
Yeah, make sure you guys all like, subscribe, share with friends, families, coworkers, strangers, whoever, so we can keep growing and keep bringing you guys Untouchaballs, because there's going to be a lot coming for you. Remember now, we're at 3 episodes a week for you guys, so keep looking forward to it.
Keep following, keep staying tuned. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time.